Well, good afternoon. Today we have a special show. We're going to start doing some shows for like travels around the Great Lakes, spots you can go. And one of the spots is a place I like to go. It's on Middle Bass Island called JF Walleyes, and we have somebody from JF Walleyes today who's going to tell us a little bit about just the island and about the restaurant and what we can see for upcoming entertainment or whatever other kind of mischief we want to get into. And I'll have everybody here introduce themselves. Again, my name is Ted, and then to my right, I'm going to trick you up this time.
I am Christina Columbus, co-hosting for Jibe Talking.
And I'm Phil Fry, also a co-host for Jibe Talking.
And who am I speaking with? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Chris Zeitler from JF Walleyes on Middle Bass Island.
Good to have you. Now, are you the owner, manager? How are you affiliated with the restaurant?
I think all of the above. Yeah, I'm the owner, and I step in and act as a manager as well.
Yeah, you do. When you own a restaurant, and it seems like you live at the place. I know my cousin used to own a place, and Phil, don't mess with the stuff. Now, right now, the co-host is trying to unplug and plug things in, and our sound engineer is going to smack them. So if you see Phil Fry come into your restaurant this summer, just do not allow him to enter, okay?
I'll be there.
I know
Don't let
you
him
will.
touch the electrical equipment is what you're saying.
Yes,
right. I won't plug and unplug stuff in at your place.
But we do have an electrician that travels in our circle. Matt's an electrician, so he could do that. So tell us a little bit about your restaurant, what they offer, and where is it located?
Well, JF Walleyes is super conveniently located as far as the island goes. We are directly across the street from the Middle Bass Island State Park and Marina, which is by far the nicest marina facility, I believe, on Lake Erie.
And we're all got
Also,
thumbs up right now, by the way.
Say what?
We all have thumbs up agreeing with that.
Yeah, good, excellent. And also, if you're not a boater and you're a day tripper or a tourist spending a night or a weekend, we are the first business that you would arrive at when you get off the Miller Ferry. On Middle Bass, you get off the Miller Ferry, you can only go one way, and we're just about 300 yards up the road.
Yes, you are. You are pretty conveniently located. You mentioned the island. How big is this island? I've always wondered, how big is Middle Bass, approximately?
So I'll be your island guide today. I can give you the best I can give you. The island is approximately 700 acres. If you could take the main road, Fox Road, and it goes up by I like to call it the Middle Bass International Airport.
What is that, a grass field?
Yeah. There's the grass field too, but this is the blacktop one. It's a nice runway. It's 1,850 feet long, perfect for a little four-place setting airplane. But if you stretch the road out or the island out, if you could straighten it out from one end to the other, it's approximately 3 miles long, encompassing 700 acres.
Okay. Now, do you have your own police force out there?
No, we actually, in years past, we pay money to the Put-in-Bay Police Department. It's in our taxes, and they come over and they patrol. They're on call and they patrol generally from Memorial Day to Labor Day. But as of last year, that contract, I believe, expired, and they contracted with the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department. So now we have a sheriff patrolling. It's kind of nice for the island because in the wintertime when a lot of the residents are gone, the sheriff does come over once a week, once every couple weeks, and they make their rounds and just check and make sure that homes are secure and that there's no funny business going on.
I think it's very telling, Ted, that the second question you asked was about police on the island. Are you planning a caper or
I've been to a few of the places there. That's why I wondered. Yeah. I've seen some of the
on Middle Bass. We don't need the police. We are very well able to take care of ourselves if you read between that.
Well, I've been sailing out there probably for a good 10 years. Our boats are in the Western Basin, but we come out to the islands. And I quickly learned that it was a lot better to stay at Middle Bass State Park Marina
Yes.
than it was to stay at South Bass, just because of the magnitude of madness on South Bass. And I've certainly been in your establishment many times, and I really love being out there. And you're right; it's just so convenient to the marina right there. It's just really nice to have you guys there.
Now tell
Yeah,
us. Go ahead.
we've got a great complement of businesses on the island. The newest one that opened up was at the old press house of the winery, and it's called the Island Grind. And they have a speakeasy bar they opened up, I think, last year as well. But great coffee and breakfast sandwiches, runs all day long. And then at night they have the speakeasy bar. It's called Prohibition.
Oh,
And,
that's it.
that's
If you go
really
out to
nice
State
looking.
Park, it's kind of adjacent to where you come in.
It's between the old winery and
Okay, I got somebody talking here. Yeah, I've been up there and gotten coffee. Yeah, that is a nice place.
Yeah, it is. It's nice for breakfast sandwiches there. She does a really. I don't think she sleeps. I forget her name, but I mean
Jane. Jane. She does a
Jane, yeah. I
fantastic
mean,
job.
I mean, we'll be there. We'll be normally. What our day is like is, we'll go get a breakfast sandwich from her. We go out and sail during the day. Come back the afternoon. Stop by your place normally for dinner, and then go to the speakeasy for a nightcap. But yeah, that's a really nice combination there. Like I said, I would rather stay out at Middle Bass 10 times more than I would at South Bass, just because of the madness that you get in downtown.
But the
Putin
nice
Bay.
thing is too, though, if you want to spend the afternoon over at South Bass and we have your boat, you just go over and grab a ball, and they have a water taxi, so you can still get to go there if you want. But then, us elderly folk that need our sleep, we can come. But it's not. I shouldn't just say it that way. Middle Bass is something for everybody. It's not just for us elderly folk. I see young families riding bikes. I see. Oh, do you guys have a beach out there, by the way? I've never been to it.
Yeah.
I got to ask that.
So it's interesting. All the islands were formed from glaciers.
Right.
It's all from the glacial move. So everything was the hard rock that was left. And we all know Kelly's Island has that great beach on the north side.
Right.
A sandy cove. Middle Bass does not have a sandy beach. The only beach would be what we call the beaches across the street or next to Walleyes to the north, but it's kind of a stone beach. If you wore water shoes, you can come in there on a jet ski, but you're not going to lay a beach towel down on sand. It's just not happening. But you walk into the water, you get in about, 10 yards or so, and then you're on the sandy bottom. And if you had water shoes, that tends to be what people do. It's also the best place on the island to catch the sunsets.
Now, is that place? It looks almost like a narrow slip between two sets of rocks as you come across around. Do you know what I'm talking about, Phil? Is that?
Yeah, I think, didn't they used to have camping there, like tent camping?
Yeah, the state of Ohio, when they bought that property years ago, they made that the primitive tent camping.
Oh, okay.
And then it's funny, as our government agencies don't communicate well with each other, I think it was the EPA or somebody said to the state, "Hey, that's dedicated wetlands. Get that stuff out of there."
No, you've actually got a swimming pool though.
I was going to ask him about that.
At Walleyes, though.
Well, let's call it what it is. It's a wading pool. But,
that's okay.
It's only 18 inches deep, but very comfortable, very nice tropical feel. And then we have the grotto with the waterfall and the fountain we threw in it, so you can get wet any way you want to.
And people can also rent golf carts from you as well. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. We've got golf cart rental by the hour, by the day, by the week.
And then I know when we would stay out there, we would take the Sunny S if we wanted to go over to South Bass. So we've got that water taxi. I think in 22 it wasn't running, but it was running again in 23. But there are also ferries that come out there from the mainland. I mean, obviously not everybody that comes to the island is coming on their own boat. There are ferries. Is it Miller that runs to Middle Bass?
Yep, Miller Ferry is our only mainland ferry that comes to Middle Bass. And it does get quite busy. If you were planning on coming and bringing a vehicle, they do require a reservation. And they open up the reservations 2 weeks in advance of when you're coming. So if you're coming 2 weeks from now, you need to call on the phone today and get your reservation because they do sell out quickly. If you're walking on, bringing a bicycle, there's no reservation ever required. There's plenty of room.
Yeah, I know bringing cars over, but if you just come over on the ferry or bring your boat, I mean, really, I don't even know that a car is that necessary.
Absolutely not. You can walk the whole island. It's super flat. It's very friendly. There's paths, trails for most of it. So, yeah, a car is absolutely not necessary. The only thing I always say about, bringing a car is if you're coming over for the weekend and you're bringing, your family with 4 kids, well, you might want to bring the vehicle because it's your suitcase. It is convenient for that fact only. And I'll tell you what, to bring a car round trip on the ferry to Middle Bass, I don't know, in my opinion, it's very reasonable. It's right around $50 round trip. That's pretty cheap and pretty convenient to be a big suitcase.
I would agree with you. Now, can you rent bikes out there too, or just golf carts?
As far as I know, I believe the state park has bicycles. We used to rent bicycles, but we couldn't keep up with the weather factors on them. The weather just ruins them so quickly. You get one season, you got a $150, $200 bike. You rent it a couple times, and then by the next season, it's rusted out and chains are falling apart. But the state does have bicycle rentals.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's good to know. Now, your restaurant, how did it get its name?
Well, that's interesting. So the restaurant was actually built by a gentleman named Bill Gross. He hails out of the Monroe, Michigan area. And I don't know how he ever came to the island, found it, whatever, but he bought the piece of land and he put it up there. It was pre-zoning, so he built a bar and restaurant and named it JF Walleyes. And everybody says, what does the J and the F stand for? And when I talked to Bill Gross and said, what does that JF stand for? Because people think it's jump and fighting, and we know walleyes don't jump, and they might fight, but they don't jump. So what is it? And he said, it was in memory of his 2 brothers, John and Frank.
That's nice.
So that was the JF Walleyes.
Okay. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about that I think is one of the best things you get is you get a lot of good entertainment. Tell us about, what do you got coming this year? Anything you want to tell us about?
Well, every year we try to switch it up so we're not doing the same thing over and over again. And I'm pretty much tone deaf, but I know what I like. And then I have to think about, what's our average age of our guest. And I try to find bands that I think are going to fit in there. We blend country and rock and roll. This year we've got the Last Chance Band out of the Lorain County area. They were out last year. They did a really nice job for us. That's some country. We've got a new one. What is it? The Jack. You're going to catch me off guard. Jimmy Jack's band. I think they played at the boat show and had a phenomenal response. We've got them scheduled. We've got some acoustic stuff we do on slower nights, just to have something to do maybe at the back tiki bar so that it's not full-blown band. So we go back and forth, full-blown bands, single, duo, acoustic, or, just small groups. So we do a little bit of everything. And then when the bands are done, we typically do our bands from like 8 to 11. And then we've got 2 phenomenal return bartenders that work the back bar, Nikki and Anthony. And they get to play in their playlist on their phones and connecting it into the house music system. And that little back tiki bar can turn into quite a party after 11 o'clock.
Okay, I'm usually in bed asleep by then, but I'm going to have to check it out. Now, when are you going?
The other thing we did last year that was really fun that kind of happened by accident, somebody said, hey, it's my wife's birthday and I want to have a glow party for her. Can I have a glow party at your back bar? And I just, of course, said yes. I didn't even know what it was. But this gentleman brought up all these black lights and surrounded the interior of the back tiki bar with them, and then had glow markers, and everybody showed up and they were drawing on themselves. I mean, it was hilarious. We ended up having 3 glow parties last year, and we're going to do that again this year. They are a lot of fun.
Oh, that does sound like kind of a little bit of fun. Are you having the Elton John guy back this year?
No, we weren't able to connect a date with him. You know, he plays all over the United States.
I talked to him.
He does shows at Walt Disney World, I mean, casinos, and we were not able to secure a date with him this year. We've had him, many years, and we thought, that's okay. Let's do a break this year, and we will try again for next year.
What about
it's hard sometimes, our reaching out to the bands always happens in like November and December, and you'd be surprised. Everybody's already booked up. I mean, it is very hard to find good quality acts.
Phil, maybe you could go out and play.
Yeah.
No?
Sure.
No?
I have no skill.
I already knew that, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Ryan Dunlap? Is he coming back this year?
Absolutely. Yeah, and all of ours, I've got to get that schedule updated on our website.
Yeah, I was just looking when I was talking to you. I was like, we don't have it. I'll have to tell you a private story about the Ryan Dunlap thing. I don't want to really record it, but it's not a bad one. But once we're done, I'll explain it to you.
Yeah, Ryan was fun to have. I'm opening up my calendar right now so I can shoot off some other names. But I know Ryan's there 3 times. Rick Whited out of Toledo is incredible. I don't know if you guys have heard of Captain Kurt, seen him anywhere.
I saw him on Star Trek. That's not the same guy?
No,
okay.
Not the same guy.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a band called The Agency, 0 Hour, Last Chance Band, 100 Proof Band is a country band. I mean, they look really good, and we're going to finish out Labor Day weekend with Renegade Lemonade, which I think they've been playing a lot of the marina type venues as well in the summertime. Master TC and the Visitors out of Sandusky, they do a nice 80s, 90s mix.
So when are you opening the restaurant? I assume it's closed right now.
Yeah, we're closed for the winter. We will open the first weekend of May. That's always when we just get the doors open. On Middle Bass, it's a slow start, and Junes have picked up pretty well. But once we get to Memorial Day weekend, we'll be running our full schedule. And ever since COVID, which bit everybody a little bit in the butt, we have been closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And we have found that that's just going to be what we're going to continue to do. It's a great way to give the whole staff a break. It gives us our ability to work long weekends and then relax and clean and do what we need to do. Of course, if a holiday falls in there, we'll adjust accordingly.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, when you have a place running 7 days a week, as many hours, it is hard to keep it cleaned, and people get burned out just from that schedule. So I could see why that makes some sense.
Right.
So if I were going to come to your restaurant for the first time, is there something you would say? Oh, did you have your finger up to ask a question?
I did, and I think you're going to
sorry.
ask the exact question that
Go
I
ahead.
was going to
Go
ask.
ahead.
I was just going to say, if I'm coming into your restaurant for the first time, what would you suggest that I get to eat? Or is there something unique at your restaurant that, you have to see this or do this? What would you recommend?
That's a great question. Every year, one of our challenges is staffing a seasonal business. Is if we all look around and see businesses that are struggling just finding help that's a normal business on the mainland. Imagine our difficulty in trying to find a staff that we can get to commit to work for us for 4 months, and then they're gone. So we've done really well with cooks in the kitchen, and you can use the word cook or the word chef, depends on what you have. The last 3 years, we were blessed to have a chef in the kitchen, and he actually came to us from Maine each summer, and he was phenomenal in the kitchen, and he really changed our menu around a lot, and in good ways and in bad ways, because JF Walleyes was always known to be, hey, it's literally a step above a dive as far as the food. It's bar food. It's the comfort bar food that we all love, the pizza, the hamburgers, and we have had some seafood and different things in the last couple of years. This year we want to go retro back. And I'll tell you what we're going to do is try to keep it simple, stupid. And with that, I mean, we're going to have the burgers, the wings, the pizza, the sandwiches, the appetizers, the stuff everybody knows, everybody loves. And we're going to try to keep the portions appropriate with the price, because it's expensive enough to be out on a boat and enjoy yourself for a weekend. And the last couple of years, our prices started getting out of hand because we were doing too much of the, let's have the salmon, the prime rib, and they were delicious, but it was really hard to digest the pricing of the menu. So we're going to back that up this year, and I'll tell you what we do, anything we do, we're going to do good. We're going to do really good at it. So we carry the best beef for the burgers, the Angus beef. It's a full half pounder. It's a fresh brioche bun. Then the pizza, it's a stone-fired crust, and we don't use sauce out of the can. We spice it up. And we do have a chef coming in this year that'll do all that. And I'm sure he's already talked about, he has a bacon-wrapped scallop that everybody loves everywhere he works. So he's going to bring that in. That'll be there. And we want to bring back perch. We were really known for perch. You guys ever heard of D'Amours in Sandusky?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so D'Amours is known. They have great perch. In fact, I had some the other day. We always have great perch. We have a great recipe for the breading, and perch just got crazy. So last year, we didn't even have perch on the menu. I'm hoping to bring the perch back this year. And, of course, we're JF Walleyes, so you got to have the walleye bites or the walleye, hoagie sandwich. We're very good with the walleye as well. So we're really good at a lot of things. And I can't tell you any one thing to do. It's funny, the one sandwich that we're known for ever since I've owned the place, which has been 20 years now, is called the Turkey Club Wedge. I don't know why, but it is delicious. And we sell thousands of them in a season.
Now, go ahead, Phil.
Where does your staff stay on the island?
Yeah, we have to provide housing for everybody. And
Okay.
that's a big question, because it leads into, well, there's another business on the island, St. Hazard's. It's not for everybody, but it is turned into a late night spot. And if you've ever been to St. Hazard's, you see all those little brightly colored trailers that surround the property. We actually own multiple of those, and that's where we house our employees.
Now, do you rent places to stay also?
We do. At the back of the St. Hazard's property is the big blue building with the yellow roof. Anytime you're coming to the island, you see it. You're coming into the marina, you see that building to your right, and that is called the St. Hazard's condos. They are not owned or managed by St. Hazard's at all. They're individually owned. There's 37 condos in there, and we own and manage 8 condos in the building that we offer for rent on our website on a nightly or an extended stay basis.
I got to imagine those probably are booked almost all summer.
Yeah, it's Middle Bass Island. This is what I love about Middle Bass Island. They're not.
Interesting.
Middle Bass is, when I bought it 20 years ago, it was like, oh, this is a great thing. This island's going to explode. Put-in-Bay's already at max. Well, Put-in-Bay keeps reinventing themselves and keeps building more hotels and more rooms. So we never really did explode, and that's good. What we're catering to is, like you had said earlier, people that just don't want to get in all of that mess. And if you do, and I don't mean to call it a mess, it's to each their own. But if you do, you simply can ride the Sunny S Ferry over, enjoy yourself for however long you want to, and that you're comfortable for, and then you can come back. So we like to be what we say the little brother to Put-in-Bay, the little brother, the little sister, more relaxed, a lot quieter, and a lot more family friendly.
I tell you, if you got a family and you're looking to do something in the islands, you're right. It's very nice to come there. You have a very nice restaurant. Let's face it, you got that pool out back. And I tell you now, my run from the marina over to your island's about 6 hours. And after 6 hours in the sun, nothing feels better than popping in that waiting pool in the back and ordering some food or ordering a beverage. And it's nice.
Now, is your pool heated?
No, it doesn't have to be. At 18 inches, that thing
Fair.
will heat on its own. And in fact, we have to really sometimes add cold water to it so it stays refreshing. We have a great guy that manages our pool, and the state mandates anytime you have a commercial pool like that you are watching your chemical levels all day long. Mm-hmm. So we have a guy, Pat Brownlow, that is on the island. He's a resident of the island, and he specializes in the chemistry of the pool. He comes down there 4 times a day. You'll often see him. He'll just show up and he'll be testing the water. And then at night, when everybody's gone, we drain it halfway down and we fill it with fresh cold water to make sure it's good and crisp for the next day.
I know some boaters that need to watch their chemical levels a little closer, but that's a whole other discussion.
It's a different type of chemical.
Different type of chemical. Now, tell us, the people who have never been there before, tell them how big this pool is. Because they could be, when you say wading pool, they can be picturing, like something you put in the backyard or something you would have at the back of a hotel. But this is quite a substantial sized pool.
Yeah, we're, I think we hold 27,000 gallons of water, and we can fit 100 people in there without bumping shoulders. It's very easy. I don't know the length of it. It's 100 feet long. And at the widest point, it's 30, 40 foot wide. So it is big. Originally, we were going to put in a swim-up bar with a full swimming pool. And then at the last minute, we just kind of changed and said, you know what? That's just going to invite what we really aren't trying to get in our business. We want to stay family-friendly. So we went back to the drawing board, came up with this, and thought, man, this is just the best thing ever.
How long has that pool been there?
So I believe we opened that in 2008.
Okay. That's not too long ago, actually.
Yeah, it's 15 years.
And you said you've owned the business, did you say 20?
20 years, correct.
Okay. Now, during the summer, do you spend pretty much your whole time on the island?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I love the island. I do have to go back and forth to do, different things, different chores like anybody. So I ride the ferry off and on once a week. And my favorite time to be on the ferry is when I'm leaving the island because I'm getting a break from the island. And in my 24 hours that I'm off the island, my next best favorite time is when I come back to the island because I'm ready to get back.
And those who's never been out there, I got to tell you, it is very beautiful. If you've never been out to Lake Erie Islands in general, because there's a lot of people around here that have never ventured out there. It is awesome, when you come up in the boat and it's just like a part of it's almost like, I know people will call Key West of the North is Put-in Bay. I don't know. I think it's nicer than Key West because I've been to Key West and I really don't care. I mean, it's okay if you want to. I'm sorry, Phil. I know you just came back from there.
Yeah, it was just 2 weeks.
Yeah. But it's not one of my favorite places, but it's okay. But I mean, just going into the islands, and they don't realize really how many islands are right there. You got North Bass, Middle Bass, South Bass, Gibraltar. I mean, there's just so many little islands over there. And then you pull into that marina, and like you said, it is nice. It is very nice marina. It's kept well. The staff there is very nice, and you get out of your boat and you walk up the hill and right across the street, and there's your place.
Right. We have a general store on the island too. So if you came and you forgot some of your provisions, the Middle Bass General Store, which is only about maybe less than a half-mile walk from the marina, has everything you need, including a hardware store. And then they opened up the pizza restaurant attached in the same building.
Yep, we've been there. We've been there. Yep.
Uncle Joe's, fantastic food. Again, another great asset to our island. And I always want to make sure I mention them because that's Cheers. If you ever watch Cheers, now I'm showing my age. But that's the Middle Bass General Store and Uncle Joe's Pizza because everybody in there knows everybody, and that's where the meetings are.
And let me tell you, in being with the boaters, we have had the provision at the general store before. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had to buy a bunch of fly swatters last time. Yeah,
because that's what it was.
Going back by the biting flies at West Sister. So yeah.
Yeah, those are terrible around there.
Now, doesn't that just mean it's going to rain?
Out there behind West Sister, it's because of all that Coumarin excrement has generated such an incredible flies. If you get too close to that island, they will just
And they are
attack
aggressive
you.
too.
They'll bite through your shoes. I've had them bite through a shoe. Yep. Do you boat?
Word of advice for people that have maybe never been around the islands or never been to Middle Bass Island, and be an old experienced boater, and you guys are, get your charts. Know where you're going. We sit and watch boats hit shoals all the time because they're just not paying attention. They see water and think it's deep, So my word of advice is anybody coming to the islands that's never been around the islands, and in particular Middle Bass has a horrible shoal off of the, I guess you'd call it the northeast side of the island and the southwest side of the island.
I never knew that. I'm glad I didn't hit it.
We had
They
during
put those teams
the
out there
race.
for a reason.
During the race last year, a couple boats went aground.
Yeah.
Well, that's for a different reason. That's because they put the marks on the shoals.
You
Right.
got to know where you're going.
Are there any residents that live on Middle Bass year round?
Absolutely. So that's a great question altogether. So as we said, that the island is 700 acres. The last count I had was that there's 700 electric meters on the island, of which probably 100 of those could be facilitated to the St. Hazards Resort with the villas, the campsites, and the condos. So take the rest of the island, you've got about 600 electric meters, which means about 600 homes. And most of the people either are retired and spend the entire summer there, or they're still working and they're commuting back and forth and they're coming on the weekends. And in the winter time, right now, there's approximately 30 people that stay year round. So today there's probably 30 people over on the island.
Okay, very cool.
Now, how do they get back and forth?
Well, that was going to be my next thing. How about groceries, So groceries, they call over to Bassett's or Kroger's. There's already a service. They do the shopping. They take it to Griffin Airlines or the other airline, and it's flown over. There's a little surcharge on it so they can get fresh milk, fresh eggs, fresh vegetables, whatever they need. A lot of the stuff they do, they load up and put in their freezers in the fall, but the fresh stuff gets flown over. And in the case of kids that have to go to school, we currently have 3 children on the island that are still school age, and they all go to school at Put in Bay. There is no school on Middle Bass anymore. It hasn't been attended since 1983. So the kids fly to school every day. And in the event of bad weather, if they got caught on Put in Bay and there's bad weather and the planes can't fly, they're assigned a family to stay with until the weather clears and they can get back home. It's just normal life for them.
Okay.
And I heard recently the fog was so bad over there that people were having trouble getting their groceries flown in.
Yeah, there was nothing for 4 days. I think that was about a week and a half ago. There was nothing. So if I think that actually Jake and Emily Dunphy that own the Marine Rescue, I believe they actually made a run to Put in Bay with one of their boats to help, given that emergency situation. But yeah, that's rare. That was a rare one where you are definitely cut off.
Well, now we noticed when we had, I'm going to use Phil's term, that Seiche, there were people walking around out there on the bottom, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that when you get that wind and it pushes everything to Buffalo, you find new glacial grooves. It's amazing.
Did you go out and walk around after it? Just to check it out? Yeah.
No, I leave the island in the fall. I miss that.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said before, if you've never been to JF Walleyes, you have to go there this summer. They have lots of entertainment. It's a great place to take your family. It's a great place. They have a lot going on at night if you want to just come back and hang out. It's safe there. It's they don't get super rowdy, so you don't have to worry about that. But like I said, if you're looking for a place to go eat, hang out, check it out. Does anybody else have any questions?
No. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so
Yeah.
we'll
Thanks
probably
for
see you
helping
over there
spread the word
this.
about-
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for helping spread the word about Middle Bass. We love visitors, and we all need the business in the season, and appreciate everybody. And you are completely safe there. Very family friendly. Couple boutique stores on there. You can gift shop. I mean, it's all there.
I agree. Well, thanks for coming on.